The lateness of this review, but I actually didn't have the chance to like sit down and watch this episode until like half an hour ago. So I'm just kind of reviewing now in the middle of the night. But so this episode is episode 17 of season 2 of Young Justice, entitled The Hunt, and it's kind of people hunting people down. I mean, I don't know. The episode titles have been less creative. I probably shouldn't analyze them that much. But basically, this episode opens with the Reach kind of like assessing its losses after saving the Earth from the World. And they're basically saying, oh, we've lost like 67% of our fleet, and it's really bad, and we reveal the fact that we do have this massive fleet to the Earth. And then but in the same time, they have captured like the team that was originally invading the World. They've captured them all in these like cryostasis tubes, and it was kind of strange the way some things were worded. It sounded like the Reach had actually organized the War World coming to Earth, like they wanted to obtain the War World, but that's weird because Vandal Savage was apparently the one who orchestrated this. So I don't know if they're actually working together, or like maybe I'm just like reading too much into things and the Reach just kind of like took advantage of like a new weapon that they could obtain. I don't really know what's going on there. But on the War World, other than the Reach like complaining about how they can't do anything and how they've lost a lot of stuff, is Arsenal is still like running loose, and they refer to him as a loose end, and he pretty much literally is, because he's just so like single-minded and like set on just keeping himself alive. And I don't know, I will talk more about him in a little while, but it's I just can't deal with his single-mindedness, especially because there's so much about this team is about so much about like Young Justice is about this team of like teenagers growing together and becoming quite literally pretty codependent, and he's just like the opposite of that, which I mean, understandably given his trauma, but still like still very jarring compared to like the goals with the rest of the team. And then on the other hand, you also have like more of this Reach propaganda with Jaime becoming like the savior of Earth because he saved them from the War World, which is a lie, obviously. And like it's really strange because like they put Jaime's picture on water towers, and like they're just like, look at Blue Beetle, he's like the epitome of Reach human interbonding awesomeness, not interbonding, whatever the word is, but like that he's like the embodiment of the Reach and the humanity like together combined. And I mean, it's like really sad to me that this is happening, because obviously it's a complete violation of Jaime's character. I mean, a plot-related violation, not just like an OOC, but still, like, he's such a, like, humble, noble, like, doing this because he wants to do good guy, that, like, that the fact that he's turned is just so heartbreaking, which, I mean, I'm sure Greg Weisman deliberately did that because he just loves tearing apart his fans' hearts, but it's really sad to me, because he was so sweet, and this is just so, like, I mean, he's not even doing anything bad now. He's not, like, evil angry. He's just not himself anymore. And then, also during this whole sequence, you have, like, this line from the Reach about the War World saying that it's supposed to be a new weapon for Earth to defend itself with, but that the Reach is going to safeguard it until humanity is ready to assume control, which just reeks of colonialism, and that freaks me out. I mean, the whole, like, situation with the Reach is obviously, like, colonialism and, like, a statement about that, but that was, like, the one line it was just very, very outright, because it was so, like, there was no way you could like swing that as anything else. You could spin that as anything else. And so, other than that, like what you have going on is the Runaways from a couple episodes ago are now they've settled down somewhere, and they're working with Lex Luthor. Like they like video chat with him, and they've also like been like going around being like doing anti-Reach like terrorism, I guess. And they're like, it's interesting because they've developed their powers so much all of a sudden, and it's only been 2 weeks in the like chronology of the show since they ran away from Star Labs, and yet they're just so powerful all of a sudden. I don't know if it's like, I guess it's like a testament to how much happens off screen on this show, because you always have like the timestamps and the dates being skipped, and it's actually pretty confusing because I don't actually pay enough attention to those to like, so I sometimes get really confused. But like, it's kind of interesting considering that we were just watching the video about Batman and about the Dark Knight and how like movies are about what happens on screen and off screen, and this one there's so much going on off screen that like you got to be pretty astute while watching this. And so I don't know, that was pretty interesting, and it was really nice to actually see them once they like invaded the War World using the father box that Lex Luthor gives them. like, to see them actually, like, working together and strategizing. Like, you see them having their roles, and you no longer have, like, Virgil just being like, I don't know, I have no clue. Like, they actually, like, have strategies and plans, and they go about things, and they use their powers in really creative ways, because not all their powers are, like, very directly offensive, and so it's pretty cool to see them like that, and you actually, like, you get a certain sense of attachment to them, which I think is the idea, because they know there are so many characters that, like, if you don't create a sense of attachment to some of them, like, people are just going to be, like, so completely overwhelmed. But speaking of characters that I'm already attached to, we have, like, a really good moment with Miss Martian and Nightwing in this episode, who are basically searching for the team, but they haven't been having much success, and they kind of get into this, like, guilt off with each other, where, like, McGann is like, it's all my fault because I didn't let Green Beetle, like, I didn't read Green Beetle's mind correctly, and I, like, and I hurt Aqualad, and now this is all my fault, and because Blue Beetle turned, and this is bad, and then Nightwing's like, well, no, because I came up with this plan in the first place, and it was just nice, because we don't actually see them interact all that much on a, like, personal level in season 1, so, like, seeing Nightwing and McGann, like, actually, like, be like, very close to each other was a nice moment, and it was, like, okay, it was weird, because I don't think that's just what we do is a thing Robin ever said in the last season, but it works. Like, I kind of hope that McGann would bring back one of the, like, feeling the Aster kind of very, like, season 1 Robin quotes, but I guess it's more Superboy's thing to bring those up anyways. And okay, going back to the Reach, you have, when the Reach finds out that the Runaways are on the Warworld, they tell Black Beetle to eliminate them with extreme prejudice, which is, like, I don't know if that's just, like, really bad writing, which I hope it's not, because this show usually has pretty quality writing, or just, like, some strange wording, because I don't know, it's, like, I guess the Reach does kind of represent prejudice in a certain extent. I mean, they're kind of, like, well, G. Gordon Godfrey and, like, other people are, like, prejudiced against them, but they're also just, like, prejudice. I don't know. I don't really get why they said prejudice. That is really confusing me. And I guess they could be, like, kind of Nazi-esque, but they're, like, pretending to be nice, and they're not, like, Nazis were, like, at least outright, like, these people are bad, we don't like them, but, like, I don't know. That line was really confusing. But, speaking also of Arsenal, like, I was gonna say more about him, he, like, releases Mongol to attack Black Beetle so he can, like, the rest of the team escape, which is really smart, but, like, I don't know, his whole character just doesn't jar well with me, and I understand where it's coming from, because he was, like, stuck in a tube for 8 years, and he's got serious issues as a result of that, but, like, it's just so annoying when he's so against the team that he's supposed to be, like, working with. Like, he's supposed to be part of this team, and I mean, Nightwing does kick him off the team for being a horrible team player, but, like, especially because, like, so much of my idea of the Young Justice team is this team that works well together and will do everything for each other, or anything for each other, really, and, like, he just is the complete opposite of that, and I just really cannot get under it. And also, like, I don't know, like, Roy Harper, like, the clone Roy was a little bit like that, too, but, because he was like, I don't want to be on the stupid kitty team, oh my god, but at least, I don't know, at least he just had, like, for some reason, he's less annoying than this Arsenal is. Which, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because he's more attractive. I mean, as much as cartoon characters can be attractive. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I'm gonna go back to, like, I'm sorry I'm just jumping back and forth, but it's kind of based on how the episode was, like, cut. And just going back to the Runaway team, I really enjoy that they're working as a team now. Like, it's like, this was like me, like, 2 episodes ago, being randomly attached to the new team, but now, like, the Runaway team, like, seeing them, like, be a team and, like, ultimately reject Lex's, like, advances, I guess, in, like, trying to get them to work for him, and, like, decide just to, like, cut him off completely and go off and be rogue on their own, like, it was nice. Like, they're little, this, like, a skater gang, floating gang type thing, and they're cute. Like, it's cute like that, and it's nice to see that they have, like, a set dynamic, yet they're still, like, layered characters and not just, like, one single identity, which, I mean, they were kind of that in the first episode they're introduced, and now they're kind of having more layers. Like, though I do not like the whole, like, constant reminding us of their ethnic minorityness, like they kind of did with Jaime previously. They would, like, throw in random Spanish all the time, or, like, Japanese for Asami, and it's just, like, I know this show is targeted for 10-year-old boys, but really? Like, what? Okay, and sorry, I have to wrap this up really quickly, but I don't really know what's going to happen, Lex, which I've been saying after every single episode, but we have I have 3 episodes left to watch, and I just don't know how everything is going to come together at this point. There just still seems to be way too much going on, like, which is the whole thing with the season. But like, seriously, what is going to happen? I don't know.